You're listening to The Money Hour with your host, Tina Mitchell, and co-host, Keelan Harvey on Alternative Talk AM 1150. Now, back to the show with local mortgage experts, Tina Mitchell and Keelan Harvey.
And you're listening to The Money Hour on 1150 AM KKNW, the Friday, September 4th virtual show. Because of COVID, our show has temporarily moved virtually. You can listen to our show on podcast or on air on Saturday at 3 p.m. with a rebroadcast on Sunday at 8 a.m. I am your host, Tina Mitchell.
And I'm your co-host, Keelan Harvey.
We are here to help you build a strong financial blueprint 1 week and one show at a time. If you're hearing our show at a different time or day, you are listening to a rebroadcast. We're here to answer any questions or connect you with the guests that we have on the show. Please call the show at 1-855-400-1150. Again, that's 1-855-400-1150 or online at themoneyhour.com. In studio right now, Taryn Laakso of Unlaaking Your Potential, Inner Critic Thoughts to Hijack Your Happiness, right here on 1150 AM at KKNW. Taryn, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Very excited to have a conversation with you because I'm definitely passionate about what you coach on and the difference that you're able to make in your clients' lives. So before we get into our conversation with Taryn, a little bit about her. She provides individual one-on-one coaching, group coaching programs, and resources designed to ignite, create, stroke the flames of inspiration, and guide clients in developing their own inner wisdom. After years working as an HR professional, she brings a consultative approach to her coaching and is passionate about working with entrepreneurial leaders who are transitioning out of their corporate careers and towards their passion work. She is differentiated by her focus on mindset and weaves together a variety of coaching tools in her approach to transforming the lives of her clients. Taryn views herself as a Sherpa whose role is to guide her clients through their journey from life of practicality and fear to a life of passion and purpose, along with profit.
Taryn, I love this subject too, super passionate. I was fortunate to have some great mentors starting on, and they said you can't stop the negative thinking, but you can be the gatekeeper of it, and you can control positive input into your brain and dilute that negativity that's feeding your brain. And that led me to a pursuit of trying to master myself and my inner thoughts. So I love this. This is a fantastic subject and really important for people. What is one question that can change someone's life?
It's pretty simple. It's, what do you want? So many times when you're thinking about your life, you don't even ask that simple question of yourself. And it takes somebody else to ask it of you. In 2012, I was sitting across the table from a dear friend, somebody I used to work with, and I was going through a separation, then divorce, but she just leaned into the conversation and she said, what do you want? And like my mind was blown. I was like, I actually can decide what I want? Like, I had no idea at that moment what it was I want. I pretty was clear on what I didn't want, but I didn't have a clear picture of what it was I wanted. So just asking that question, what do you want, opens up a lot of possibility for exploring, how do you want to feel? What do you want to do in your life? Who do you want to be with? So that's, I think, one of the really big, powerful questions.
And I love that. The first thing when I get up in the morning before I even get out of bed is I make a statement of what I want, and then I ask myself a question around that. And a lot of times I'll just say, I wonder how it's going to happen. So when you ask that question, it brings that curiosity and that excitement and that passion for the day to see how it's going to all unfold. Now, also, mindset is everything. So no matter where you come from, what story you have, good or bad, or challenges that you're dealing with, it's all in your mindset. So Taryn, can you talk about the importance of mindset and why it's so important to live the life that you want to live?
Yeah, great question, Tina. So the mindset is so important to our success, because if you think about what it is that you want and you're going towards it and you can think positively, then the negative thought patterns aren't going to hijack you and sabotage you from reaching your goals. So some of the work by Shirzad Shamin on positive intelligence is all around this. We have these thoughts, they float through our mind, like Keelan was saying, is like they just can be a running tape, and we have the power to stop the tape and actually say, like, what is it that I want to be thinking, instead of getting hijacked and believing the lies of the negative mindset. So positive mindset allows us to kind of push through those barriers, to summit the peaks, or cut through just the garbage that's in your life, and allows you to start seeing like what is possible.
And the mindset is so important because it controls the conversations that you're having with yourself as well, because the brain doesn't understand the words that you say. The brain only understands the emotion behind those words. So I always say, if you're telling yourself you're going to be late, I'm going to be late, I'm going to be late, you're late all the time. So it's the emotion behind the words. So important.
Absolutely.
Taryn, let's talk about how did you get in coaching? And I love to hear people like yourself. I love to hear your why, because the why is what drives us and keeps us motivated in everything that we do. So elaborate on that for us a little bit.
Yeah, it was, again, that time period back in 2012, I was seeing a therapist going through the divorce process, and the therapist, she was just going, you're really good at self development and discovery. And she's like, have you ever considered being a therapist yourself? And I was like, well, that's interesting. I got my degree in psychology from the University of Washington, but I tossed it aside. Like, I just let it go and just got the first job I could out of college. So it took me 20-ish years again to come back into the space of being in service of helping others. So that was really the trigger, was going through a huge rupture in my personal life that exposed me and gave me the gift of going into coaching. So that's my why, is to help leaving. Others. Yeah.
Yes. So leaving, Taryn, your corporate job, you went to college, you got a corporate job, you're successful in the position. And I know you help a lot of entrepreneurs that are ready to leave the corporate world and really go after their passion. So what was that for you, that you left the corporate world and you started in truly where your gift is
at? It was an interesting journey. It wasn't done lightly. It took me actually a couple years of deciding, okay, this is where I wanted to go, but not trying to rip the Band-Aid off. Like, I've got to go do it right now. It was a whole process of, okay, what is it I wanted? Working with a team of people to help me get to this place, and trusting that it didn't need to happen overnight. And allowing my corporate role and company to be a kind of my initial investor into the business I wanted to launch. And so that's what I help clients realize, is like, you don't have to do this overnight. It's a journey, and it's something like, imagine summiting a mountain. You're not going to do that in 1 minute. It's going to take you either a day or a couple days to do that. And so think of the journey of changing your career. It takes time and courage and just a support network to make that happen.
Yeah, Taryn, fear is a powerful, powerful thing for some people. If you can overcome that fear, I mean, you watch like the America's Got Talent, and then you see the 70-year-old that gets up there and finally sings, and they're amazing, but they didn't unleash that gift their entire life. That's like one of my biggest fears, is just to pursue any gift that I think I have, because I don't want to pass with that still inside of me, or something I could give to other people. So what could you say to people as far as when you knew it was the right time to leave, or any advice you could give around kind of that transition into what you might be truly passionate about?
I would say trusting your intuition. This is something that a lot of people have had kind of like beat out of them over their whole life, is trusting their intuition, that feeling from your heart or your gut, as a way to signal you that, yes, what you're supposed to be doing right now is important and you need to move forward. And it takes, again, that courage to move past the fear. I think of fear, I heard this acronym once, and I want to share it here, is false evidence appearing real. So that's what fear is. It's just false evidence. And yet it feels so real. So when we can get past the fear and say, yes, I'm ready to do this by tapping into our inner wisdom, our intuition, we actually have the opportunity to make these choices that light up our life.
So Taryn, share of a story of maybe from your childhood that brought you to the excitement about being an entrepreneur.
Yeah, my parents, they owned a floral and nursery business for 35 years. And actually, it kept me from even thinking about being an entrepreneur for many years, because I had this fear that I would handle a business the way they did. Not that they did it wrong. It just, the life they had chosen for themselves is they worked 7 days a week. They didn't have a manager running their business, and it was all consuming. So I was like, that was my vision of running a business for yourself. So I was like, well, I can't do that. That's the only thing I have. So it took creative thinking and how to be smarter, work smarter, not harder concept, to really thinking like, yes, I can do this. And I can do this by tapping into community. I can ask for help. I don't have to do this alone. So that's been what I learned from my childhood and how to do something differently.
Taryn, I love this conversation, and I hate to say that time flies, and we're already down to a minute. What the heck? So I want to leave you with a couple of things here. I'll give you the grounds here. So you mentioned 3 things that you feel are critical for being a successful business owner, and then anything you'd like to leave to our listeners, maybe about you or getting in contact with you, or anything that you can think of that you'd like to leave with them.
Yeah, thanks, Keelan. Yeah, so I would say like 3 things that can help anybody change the course of their life is, and being successful in running a business, is having the courage to take risks. It can feel scary crossing that edge. So if you have the courage and have a community to help you, like pull you over onto the other side, that's a big bonus in an element to making your life happen. And then also asking for help. You can't do everything, and you need others to help be a part of your team. And I guess I would wrap up. Oh, sorry, Tina.
Go ahead, Taryn. Go ahead, Taryn.
People can reach out to me. My name of my business is Unlaaking Your Potential, but it's spelled a little differently. It's based off my last name. So you can reach me at www.unlaaking.yourpotential.com. And I always offer a 30-minute free coaching session.
Wonderful. Taryn, thanks for coming in and joining us in studio. It was a pleasure to have a conversation around what your gift is and your passion as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Coming up next on the Money Hour, Credit Secrets. Serge, your credit doctor of LSI Credit Solution, Credit Secrets. Today we're talking about right here on 1150 AM KKNW.